Was Kelly Bryant sexually abused as a child? That's what it's giving right now. So there's new information coming out about Kelly Bryant. She was recently in court, and the judge thankfully determined that she is competent and they have enough evidence against her to go to trial. I don't know when the trial is going to be, but it's going to be a trial, and she needs to go to trial. They need to see all the evidence. She needs to be held accountable. This woman, in my opinion, is a narcissist. She was living a double life. She had her children locked away in Michigan for years. She would just send them food, barely enough food once a week. She refused to physically be in contact with her children. She only communicated with them by phone. She had her oldest son saved in her phone as my oldest. She had one of her daughters saved as kid one and her other daughter kid two. So she had three children locked away in a condo that she rented. She was not physically there. Oh, and by the way, she had her oldest son, the main person she contacted, she had him save her name in his phone as world's greatest mom. Yeah, she's a narcissist. Girl, are you serious? No, world's worst mom. She would just have food delivered maybe once a week, sometimes just bread. She would tell the children to not go outside. It's dangerous out there. She instilled an irrational fear of pedophiles, strangers, and being blackmailed for some reason. So it's understandable to try to protect your children from pedophiles. There are sexual predators out there, but it's not healthy to tell them that the reason why you're not going outside is because there's pedophiles, strangers, and being blackmailed. You can educate your children and protect your children without treating them like animals. She treated her children like animals. She provided no hygiene products to them, no cleaning products, no motherly love or advice or anything. I'm sure the girls were having their menstrual cycles, bleeding everywhere. When they were rescued by the police, they were all just scared and huddled together, hunched over, just hair matted, looking a mess, feces everywhere, trash everywhere. It was just really a hazard scene. Like they had to wear hazmat suits when they rescue these children. If you're not sure about the story, I'm going to give a quick little rundown. Kelly Bryant was a so-called mother from Michigan. And back in 2020 or 2021, she abandoned her children in a condo that she was renting. Everything was all well until she stopped paying rent. Her landlord called the police to do a wellness check, and that's when they found the children. They were scared to even come out to the police when they were calling them out because the mother instilled a fear in them to don't open the door, don't go anywhere, don't do anything. They said that only one child was able to even go outside twice in the 5 years. I think the son touched the grass one time and he checked the mail. Other than that, that was it. They had no real life, no normal type of living. Kelly's defense team is claiming that just because she didn't physically hurt them or physically beat them, it means that they're okay. It wasn't really child abuse. No, girl, just because you didn't take a belt or your fist or another kind of weapon and beat them physically doesn't mean you didn't abuse them. By neglecting them, you caused them physical harm. You know, they weren't brushing their teeth. They weren't using the bathroom right. They weren't taking baths. Nothing was sanitary. Nothing was healthy. Nothing was okay. How is it normal and not child abuse for you to have your children living alone, minors living in a home by themselves, no guidance, no nothing, trash piled up, feces everywhere? I'm sure urine, like it was smelling like the worst smell. If you've seen the pictures, if you've seen the videos, you will see how not even an animal would have been allowed to live in there. That's not love. You cannot say you love your children if you left them like that. It was to the point, y'all, where she took the batteries out of the smoke detectors so that if there was any smoke or any fire, the fire department wouldn't come. So she went out of her way to make sure that no one would find out about her dirty, dirty, dark secret. That's not love. So basically, if there was a fire, thank goodness in 5 years there was no fire, your children would have died because you didn't care enough about them. Like, you cannot give her any type of grace. You can't even say, oh, well, at least she gave them some food once a week. She barely gave them food. It was times where they didn't get nothing or they got bread. She did less than the bare minimum. A real mother doesn't do that. She was living a double life. Her children were living in squalor while she's out here on social media with her nails done, very long nails, uh, cleavage out, smiling, makeup, weave. Okay. Nails done, hair done, everything did. But her children were looking a hot mess because she allowed them to look like that. The children didn't know any better. What kind of mother saves their children in her phone as the oldest, kid 1, kid 2? She had no emotional connection to her children. She was not a mother. She birthed them, but she was not a mother. She's what you called a birth giver, whatever they call it nowadays. I don't know how anyone could defend this woman. And from what I'm hearing, from what one of the experts said on Law and Crime, I will attach that video to the video that I'm talking about. She's looking at 20 years or to life because the conditions that she let them in, the evidence against her is undeniable. She cannot deny it. You can't claim you can't claim insanity and whatever else mental stuff you're going through when you were able to be presentable to the world. You were able to function. Right? You were wearing a mask. You were looking to everyone like, oh, I'm this person. I got it together. I'm a well-adjusted adult, when no one knew what was going on behind closed doors without your children. She went out of her way to lie to family, friends, and strangers about her children. Everyone thought that they were with the babysitter or with the father, and the father didn't take it upon himself to take her to court. He didn't call the police, do a wellness check or anything. These 3 children that were abandoned for 4 or 5 years were let down by many people. And Kelly Bryant may have been sexually abused as a child, but it's not okay what she did. Because if you, as a mother, feel like you're not mentally or financially, whatever, able to take care of your children, the best thing to do is reach out for help, resources. Okay? You can't be too proud to beg. You can't be too proud to ask for help when it comes to your children. She should have given up her parental rights to the state or to their fathers. Okay? No excuse for this woman. I can't have any grace for this because she went out of her way to make sure that she was okay. She went out of her way to wear a mask. She went out of her way to make it seem like everything was okay when it wasn't. She knew exactly what she was doing. She actually reminded me of the mother a year or 2 ago when she was finally convicted of leaving her child, Jailyn. Baby Jailyn was left 20 months old, I think, for like 8 days while her mother was on vacation. She went out in the world on social media like she's, this great person that's having a good time in life and everything is taken care of. Didn't tell her family that her child was home alone. And no one checked up on the baby. I mean, she was vacationing and people are not like saying, hey, where's your baby? Oh, she's with this and that. Ask better questions, y'all. Like, we got to stop minding our business. When it comes to children, we cannot mind our business. We all have been through a lot of things. I have been through a lot of things. But as a mother, my children are my priority because I don't want them to grow up like me. I don't want my children to feel like their mother doesn't love them. Kelly raised her children in dysfunction. She made them feel like that was love. And I hope that they get the best counseling, the best therapy to teach them to unlearn these bad habits she taught them. I mean, they couldn't even brush their teeth. They had to be taught again how to brush their teeth, how to flush a toilet. She basically just made these children regress because they were like 10, 8, and 7 or something like that when they first were abandoned. They were like 14, 12, and maybe 13 when they were rescued. Either way, they had, I'm hoping that in the beginning they knew how to do things, but because of years of not doing it, not being taught the right way, they regressed. They went back in time to the point, like I said, they didn't flush the toilets. At one point the toilets got clogged up. It wasn't being fixed, so they resorted to pooping and peeing and menstruating in the corner, wherever. The mattresses were soaked. It was filthy. Like, this is one of the worst cases I've ever heard. And I really hope that she serves at least 20 years to life in prison. This was basically attempted murder. The fact that she took the batteries out of the smoke detectors to prevent law enforcement from coming in case there was a fire lets me know she didn't love her children. Because if it was a fire, they would have been burnt to crisp and she would have been acting dumb and looking for sympathy. She didn't love her children. She doesn't love her children. Whatever trauma she has as a child, that's not her children's fault. It's her job as a mother, as a woman, as a human to get the help so you won't repeat history. These children are going to have a lifetime. They're going to need a lifetime of help and support due to what she calls on them. If you're listening to this video and some bad things happen to you as a child and you're not a parent yet, I advise you to go get the help you need. Please go address your traumas, because if you have children, you're going to take it out on them, and it's not their fault. It's not fair to children. You know, children were not asked to be born. If we can't properly take care of them, we shouldn't have them, or we need to get help in taking care of them. It takes a village. This woman refused to ask for help. She decided to take matters into her own hands. You know, instead of dealing with the responsibility of being a mother, she decided to just throw them away in that home. Did she not expect that it would end one day? Like, this lady was really messed up in the head, y'all. And the only reason why they were rescued is because the landlord wasn't getting any rent anymore, and he did a wellness check. So if it wasn't for the landlord, how long were they going to live like that? It's sick, y'all. It's sick how many people turn blind eyes, and it's just a shame. But I hope she gets life in prison, and I don't have any sympathy for her. I care about the children, not her.